warnings and descriptions of violent crimes and rituals. Because of the program's theme and controversial subject matter, parental discretion should be exercised. The Geraldo Rivera Special. Devil Worship. Exposing Satan's Underground continues.
Welcome back. The subject is Satanism, and I've been asked repeatedly where the idea to do it came from. Well, it goes back to someone that I interviewed for our special last spring on murder and the frightening fascination verging on adoration that so many people felt for this person. A murderer who would have us believe that he is the incarnation of the devil. Here's Charles Manson.
Okay, I killed everybody since day one. I've murdered them all. I'm God and I've killed everybody.
Or the devil.
Oh, the devil, yeah, you could use the word devil or demons or whatever you want to call it.
Mostly the devil in your world, eh?
Well, okay, I'll play. There's no game I can't play. There's no game I haven't played.
You are the devil. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be the devil then.
Along with Hitler, cult leader Charles Manson is today's top satanic celebrity.
Yeah, I chopped up 9 hogs, and I'm going to chop up some more, you I'm going to kill you as many as I can. I'm going to pile you up to the sky.
Responsible for at least 9 ritual murders, Manson is revered by many modern-day devil worshippers who have adopted his philosophy of the mass extermination of those they consider unfit to live.
We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
Nicholas Schreck visited Charlie at San Quentin, keeps a picture of his hero on his apartment wall, and displays a lock of Manson's hair as if it were a sacred relic.
A bloodbath would be a cleansing and a purification of a planet that has been dirtied and degraded for too long.
David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, was also a Satanist, the serial killer who terrorized New York while murdering 5 young women and seriously wounding at least 6 others. Berkowitz was deeply involved in bizarre rituals. So was Henry Lee Lucas, who told police he murdered his girlfriend, his mother, and others across the country, all for a satanic cult.
Why do they want to kill people?
It's supposed to be for the reincarnation of the devil.
And when a series of ritualistic rapes and murders hit Southern California, it should have come as no surprise that Richard Ramirez, the alleged Night Stalker, worshipped the devil.
Hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Hail a belief system that exalts sadistic murder, torture, ritualistic suicide, and racial purity.
This has historically been a sacred day. A day of purification. A day of hell and fury. We mourn not its victims. We honor its victors. In closing, I would remind those here that murder is the predator's prerogative, and there is no birth without blood.
Berkowitz, Lucas, Ramirez, and Manson are the all-stars in the halls of infamy. But the vast majority of these ritual murders are not the work of the celebrated psychopaths. There are literally hundreds of cases most of us have never heard of. Like this satanic murder in Denver, Colorado, where the victim was handcuffed, chained, and slaughtered. Authorities claim that before he died, the victim participated in drinking his own blood. Or this diabolical example in the city by the bay. Here in a rundown San Francisco neighborhood far from the tourist attractions and the Golden Gate Bridge, a satanic cult committed crimes of incredible brutality. This is the story of that cult and of its leader, a devil-worshipping murderer named Clifford St. Joseph.
The body was tucked underneath the front wheels on the curb side, wrapped in yellow blankets and tied with guitar string.
What was the condition of the body when you found it?
It had a number of unusual wounds on it. One of the most unusual things was a design carved into the chest of the individual. And once we examined it more closely, it was an upside-down pentagram.
The Devil's Pentagram, the inverted 5-pointed star found on the unidentified corpse of St. Joseph's victim, is apparently the principal signature of Satanists. Like a recurring nightmare, it shows up at crime scenes and in their graffiti everywhere. At St. Joseph's apartment, where this grisly murder was committed, I talked to Ed, a fringe member of the cult, and the state's star witness. What was going on in this apartment?
They asked me if I had ever thought about killing somebody just to watch him die. And they asked me if I would like to join a satanic cult.
Ritual crime was apparently a regular occurrence at this apartment. In this case of torture and murder, the victim has never been identified. For purposes of this case, he was called John Doe number 60.
The first cut would be to the lips. That sealed the person's mouth for all eternity. They also poured wax, I guess, in the eyes, and that sealed their eyes for all eternity.
They did much more to John Doe number 60, but we'll spare you the details. Caught and convicted of murder, kidnapping, and ritual abuse, St. Joseph and another cult member are currently serving long prison sentences. Ed remains free, although he claims only to have been a reluctant participant in the murder of John Doe 60. He does admit bringing a teenager here to be chained up and ritualistically abused.
How can you say you have no guilt when you bring a 17-year-old kid in here, you help shackle him to a radiator, and then participate in his torture and sexual abuse?
Well, I never participated in torture, and no torture was allowed of him.
You were having sex with a kid who's chained up. What are you talking about?
Well, Ricky, first of all, likes that type of sex.
What was going on here is a nightmare.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is a nightmare.
Are there devil worshippers, are there murderers involved in this particular case still at large?
In this particular case, yes. We do know we've had one person identified, other man identified who was present during this particular homicide.
Do you think that this ritualistic stuff is spreading?
It's all over the United States and probably all over the world because it's just something that people are experimenting with now.
Oh.
Satan means whatever I'm looking at, whatever I want it to mean. It's on my forehead. It's me if I can get up on that highway. It's everything that human beings don't understand. It's all their fears. It's what they're not sure of. You dig what I'm saying? Satan to me would be God.
That man is so repugnant. All of these satanic murderers are. The acts that they have been convicted of committing are so horrible that the question could fairly be raised again, why are we doing this broadcast? We are doing it, ladies and gentlemen, because it's our feeling that these cases are too often overlooked, too often underreported. We think that there is a widespread problem here that you deserve, that you need to know about. Joining us right now via satellite, we have another convicted satanic murderer. His name is Charles Gervais. He is currently serving a life sentence in Angola Penitentiary in Louisiana. Mr. Gervais, why, in Satan's name, did you hammer and strangle to death an innocent person? Did you really think, sir, that they were going to give you 10,000 souls, this devil?
Well, Geraldo, I can't talk about my case.
Get to the point about Satanism, Charlie.
Okay. There's a lot of confusion in it, and it's mostly people that really don't understand.
Listen, what about this 10,000 souls, Buster? That's what I want to know about.
Well, that's what I've got into Satanism for.
Why?
Why? Because it possesses power.
Where were you going to get this power? Where were you going to use this power?
In hell.
In hell. You're going to kill a person on earth to get the power of 10,000 souls in hell? Are you sick?
Nope.
Why aren't you condemned to die?
Why aren't I?
Yeah. Did you use Satanism as a defense?
Yes.
Ted Gunderson, FBI veteran, former head of the regional office in Los Angeles. Is there a network of these satanic murderers in this country, do you allege?
I cannot say that there's a network of satanic murderers. I can say that based on information furnished to me by confidential sources and informants, based on interviews with dozens of survivors from the satanic operations through the years, satanic beliefs, etc., I can say that there is a network of these people across the country who are very active. They have their own rest and relaxation farm. They are in contact with each other. It ties in loosely to the drug operation, ties into motorcycle gangs, and it goes on and on. They have their own people who are specialized in surveillances and photography and in assassinations.
After this commercial break, we're going to have the anatomy of a satanic crime, showing you why law enforcement has had such a difficult time coming to grips with the strange, shadowy world of satanic crime. Stay with us.
From John Carpenter. They control what you see.
We have been lulled into a trance.
They decide what you hear.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you.
You think they're people, just like you.
What do these things want, and why are they here?
You're wrong. Dead wrong. John Carpenter's They Live. Rated R. Starts Friday, November 4th at theaters everywhere.
Lean pockets, fit with your style. Hot numbers like these, only 300 calories. Lean pockets, a meal, great taste when you have no time to waste. Get into Lean Pockets.
Introducing a totally new kind of antiperspirant protection that glides on. New crystal clear Arid Glide On. Not a crumbly stick, not a drippy roll-on. New clear Arid Glide On. Clear Arid protection that glides on.
Tonight,
I want to help you.
You'll be introduced to Jack Killian.
I want to understand.
Get in.
He's the best cop in the city.
If you love your wife, how can you love me too?
Just killed 6 guys in the last 9 months.
I don't love you.
But even the best cop
It's too bad because I loved you.
can't be everywhere until now.
You want me to do a radio show?
We're pleased to introduce you to Jack Killian.
If the caller becomes abusive or obscene, you have enough time to cut him off.
What if I become abusive or obscene?
Is it true what they say about cops in bed?
You're on the air. There's never been a beat like this.
He just wanted fast food sex.
So you don't really sound like my idea of a fun date.
Looks like we have a serial killer on our hands.
An entire city becomes one man's stakeout.
Jack, what do you think you're doing?
There's a psycho killer out there on the loose.
Please listen carefully.
And if you're listening, lady,
Jack?
you can turn yourself into me anytime.
He'll take you from the streets to the air.
I did it again.
Where are you?
The next generation of television drama begins
If you want ratings, I'll give you ratings.
She's in the building!
with the premiere of Midnight Caller next.
One reason we think you haven't heard more about them is that many satanic crimes are simply not recognized as such. Take a look at this report, please. These ritualistic crimes are everywhere, and yet in most communities they are either overlooked or underreported. There's an example going on right now here in Kansas City that tells us why. In this house, in a quiet residential neighborhood, a series of brutally violent, horrible crimes have been committed, and yet the police and prosecutor in this town seem either unable or unwilling to draw the obvious connection between what happened here and Satanism.
All I know is the whole thing was evil.
This 22-year-old, call him Jay, escaped from the House of Horrors wearing only a dog collar. For 4 days, he had been ritualistically tortured by a man named Bob Burdella.
He took the transformer and hooked it to my genitals and stepped back and took pictures while I'm flopping around.
What a sick dog.
It seemed to never end, you know.
After Jay escaped through a window by burning the ropes that bound him to the bed, the police arrested Burdella. When they searched his home, they found over 250 photographs of young men, including Jay, in the process of being tortured, in some cases fatally. Hidden in the walls of the home, they also found a human skull.
He had pictures of guys that he had did things to. Kids tied up and with marks on them and things.
Apparently, Burdella would pick up young men, usually hustlers like Joe, many of them runaways who cluster in Kansas City Strip.
I need $25 so you can
For a small amount of money, these kids go anywhere to do anything with anyone. Unfortunately, some went home with Burdella, whose involvement with devil worship was easily apparent. There was, for example, a satanic symbol on the outside wall of his house. His business card seemed straight from hell, and he ran this macabre shop of horrors, possibly stocking it with his own unique hobby. By agreement with the district attorney, Burdella was allowed to plead to 1 count of murder. He received a life sentence, but many people in this community are outraged that the investigation went no further.
Did the police pursue these allegations of satanic involvement?
The police department, it's my understanding, called in some people who knew about witchcraft to talk to them about that. That particular aspect of the case basically went nowhere.
County legislator Carol Cole disagrees.
Why do you think there is no attention being paid to that ritual aspect of this case?
You're in the heart of America, the Bible Belt, and we hate to think that people like that live next door to us. We're turning our backs on acting like it doesn't happen. We're putting our hands over our eyes as if it didn't occur here, that it was just a murder.
This is Detective Lee Orr of the neighboring Kansas City, Kansas Police Department.
Do you believe there is a satanic aspect to these horrible crimes?
Yes, I'm sure there is, yes. We've also had contact with people that have come out of the occult, Satan worship, who have definitely made statements, and who I've interviewed, that state that Mr. Burdella was involved at a higher level than most in the occult.
If these allegations exist, as we merit to you that they do, isn't it reasonable that if you pursued them with vigor, you might find evidence that could pin more of these crimes on this man, that might help solve some of the cases of missing children and missing young adults that you have in this and surrounding communities?
There isn't any question that if there are people who have information about him being involved in witchcraft or Satanism, and that information has not been given to us, that we would love to have it because it would be further leads that we could follow.
Here perhaps are some leads for investigators to follow. Item: police reports obtained by us show local authorities have long been aware that devil worshippers were conducting large-scale ceremonies in the Kansas City area. Item: this young man says he was an eyewitness to a sexual orgy at Burdella's house, one with heavy satanic overtones. And item: this woman claims she met Burdella through her former husband, a high priest in a local satanic cult.
We were at a meeting in the area, and he was up on the platform in a throne, which symbolizes that that sacrifice at that particular meeting was for him, was done for him.
So he was in an exalted position. He was a VIP.
Yes, he was.
What happened there at that ceremony?
There was a young man killed, a young boy. He was 16 years old.
Did you ever tell the police about any of this?
No, I didn't.
Why?
People don't believe you when you talk about these things. People just do not believe these things happen.
Remember, aside from the torture and sodomy of Jay, who escaped, Burdella has pled guilty to just one murder, a runaway whose skull was found inside his house. A second murder charge is pending. Yet police sources tell us Burdella is suspected in at least 7 homicides. When they excavated his backyard, they found remains of 3 people. Paul Howell believes his missing 19-year-old son was among them.
They found a head right up here, I believe.
A skull?
A skull right up in this area somewhere.
It is one thing for law enforcement to be uninformed. It's quite another, though, for them to refuse to follow known leads. Paul Howell alleges they did exactly that, with the information he provided from his own investigation. For 3 years, he says, he begged them to investigate Burdella's suspected connection with his boy's disappearance.
I dug through it trash and found different things. At one time, I thought it was dog remains. Later on, after the investigation, the police come in. 3 years later, I found out that this is the way they said Bob disposed of some of the waste of the human remain. He put them in dog food bags and set them out in the trash.
What must it be like to a father to think that his own son was disposed of in pieces in someone's garbage?
It's just very upsetting, naturally, and want to get even. You want to find everybody that's involved beside Bob and hope that it don't happen to anybody else's kids.
It apparently also happened to Harriet's kid, Bonnie's husband, James, who disappeared in 1985.
When James first disappeared even, we begged him to do something to go in Burdella's house to get a search warrant for any reason to try to find my son in there, because it had been told to us that he was possibly chained up in the house in there.
Photographs of James' tortured, apparently murdered body were among those seized by police.
Will you charge Burdella with the murder of James Ferris?
That is not something that I can tell you yes or no.
Will you charge Burdella with the murder of Jerry Howell?
And again, I can't tell you whether or not there will be charges brought against Mr. Burdella or anybody else for the murder of Mr. Howell.
Is it possible that by narrowing the focus of the investigation, people who are involved in these awful acts are still free?
Yes, there's no question about it. You cannot subdue individuals and photograph them, and you're in the photos by yourself. So there is a great implication that somebody else that participated in this is still at loose, and they're at large in this city, and you're going to be reading about it again in another 12 or 16 months.
I hope she's not right, but stand up. This is Detective Sergeant Lee Orr from the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department. You saw him in the video piece. This is retired Detective Michael McKee of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Gentlemen, the Kansas City Star is reporting as late as yesterday that the district attorney in your community is still insisting that the Burdella case of serial murders or alleged serial murders is not related to Satanism, is not a ritual crime. You were one of the first cops on the scene. Do you believe that this case is satanically related?
It's my opinion that it is. We recovered a ceremonial robe from the bedroom. When we excavated the backyard and dug up the skull in the backyard, it was buried with a jar of feathers and had some burnt wood with it. We also recovered numerous books on the occult from the residence of Mr. Burdella.
Now, whether these cases are not being treated as ritual crimes because of embarrassment to the community or because it's easier for cops just to prosecute them as simple homicides, we don't know. Coming up next, we have talked in this program so far, and you have heard the words about child abuse. A woman by the name of Cheryl Horton and others tell an even more grotesque story, ladies and gentlemen. Having babies to be turned over for human sacrifice to Satan. And we'll deal with that when we come back.
Princess Di blasts Heartless Fergie for deserting her new baby. Enquire within.
We've got what you want, the way that you want it. Enquire within.
TV's Designing Women star Delta Burke warned, lose weight or be fired.
Enquire within.
Top secret Dallas photos of JR in prison.
19 million people read us for a tip or a grin. 'Cause we've got what you want, the way that you want it. Enquire within.
The new Canon Sure Shot Ace with remote control puts you in your own pictures where you ought to be.
You ought to be in pictures. You're wonderful to see. You ought to be in pictures. Oh, what a hit you would be. You ought to be in pictures. Your face would be adored. You ought to be in pictures.
The new Canon Sure Shot Ace with remote control. So advanced, you get in on the fun.
More Americans have chosen one network's coverage over all the others, from the conventions through the debates. NBC News, America's election choice.
There's hardly a corner of the world where Peace Corps volunteers making a difference right now. You can join them. They're opening hearts and opening minds, building bridges and bridging cultures, sharing skills and sharing themselves, bringing new life to deserts and fighting disease. The Peace Corps is leaving behind more than a new crop, a new forest, or a nourished child. It's leaving behind people you've helped to help themselves, shaping their future as well as your own. No matter what your skill, you don't know how much you have to offer until you offer it. Take home a world of experience and leave behind something that will last for generations. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
I think sometimes that, ironically, on television, when you give a disclaimer, it has exactly the opposite to the intended effect, and more people tune in than tune out. I'm going to say this as straight as I possibly can. I am begging you, if you're a parent and you've got kids there, that this subject is just too upsetting for your young children. Please get them out of the room or change the station. We urge you to exercise parental discretion. It has been established, as you have already seen on this program, in courts of law now,
that human sacrifice is sometimes an element in rituals performed by people calling themselves Satanists. There is no longer any doubt about that, though just how often it actually is done is obviously impossible to know. The ideal sacrifice, we are told, apparently requires babies. And there are those. People in satanic sex, including mothers who have belonged, who tell of babies being bred for sacrifice. Take a look, please.
Read what they do, Guy. They use blood in their rituals, and the blood that has the most power is baby's blood.
In the classic horror film Rosemary's Baby, Mia Farrow is drawn into the clutches of a satanic cult and is married to the devil.
This is no dream. This is really happening.
She conceives the Antichrist, providing the group with a living symbol of Satan to be worshipped and adored.
God is dead! Satan lives!
As sickening and unbelievable as it sounds, bearing children for use in satanic rituals may really be happening.
My daughter, who I named Wendy, was sacrificed at birth with an upside-down cross and then taken outside and buried. My son, they kept and let live till 2 years old, and then he was sacrificed.
Michael and I had a son, and he was dedicated to Satan at birth, and at 6 months of age, he was sacrificed to Satan.
It is most common for the heart to be taken from the child and offered to Satan.
These women say they speak from personal experience. They claim to be breeders, forced by covens to bear children, both as a way for the cults to get new members and to find fresh victims for ritual murder.
Did you give birth to infants who were sacrificed?
My first two
Were sacrificed?
were sacrificed. I was told it was the highest honor I could ever do as a woman, was to sacrifice my first two.
And you did that?
I was so brainwashed, I believed their philosophy.
Jackie tells us she was able to escape her satanic cult. Today she helps other women, like Donna, who are trying to break free.
You killed your babies?
Take the skin off.
You skin the baby? You take the baby's skin off? Do you feel remorse? Have you told the police?
I had to do what I had to do, or I'd be killed like the babies that they made me watch killed, and that they put in my hand. They said, "Obey, or this is you."
Jackie, you have some pictures drawn during the therapy sessions by the people who've been through this. Why don't you show me some of them?
This picture is a person remembering skinning children and babies and hanging it out to dry. And
Skinning?
Skinning them, taking the skin off alive while they are alive, and skin them until they die.
And that's how your babies died?
They took a little patch about 3 by 4 off of her stomach, skinned her, and said, "We'll skin you all the way if you talk or cry." You learn not to cry real fast.
I don't cry.
For their part, mainstream Satanists strongly deny these gruesome allegations. Zena is the daughter of Anton LaVey, founder of the modern-day Church of Satan.
That's a popular misconception, too, is that children are sacrificed at the altar, or that animals are used for sacrifices. And it's a horrible, horrible misconception.
This is real hard for the police because they can never find proof, and that's because the bodies are sometimes consumed for communion, sometimes burnt, sometimes put in concrete.
For proof, the women offered a few grisly photos. But as the Satanists are quick to point out, the images of death and decay are impossible to verify.
These middle-class housewives that are worried that we want to abduct their children are barking up the wrong tree because we wouldn't want anything to do with their whole mediocre and corrupt lifestyle.
Because the charges are so bizarre, most mental health professionals distance themselves from the entire area of Satanism.
But here in Denver, Colorado, the Bethesda Psychiatric Institute has become the first in the country to devote an entire department to treating the victims of ritual crime. Can we believe these stories of sacrifice?
I believe we need to believe them. They sound bizarre. They sound beyond the capacity of human beings. But the stories we receive are tremendously consistent.
Is this an epidemic?
I believe involvement in Satanism is increasing. I believe it is present in many communities around our country, and I believe it demands our attention.
But somebody is apparently trying to discourage scrutiny. We've talked to therapists who treat ritual abuse victims, and they tell us of the threats they've received.
I have direct knowledge of both death threats on a therapist and an attempt to end that therapist's life, which was unsuccessful.
Here in Chicago, a group of well-known therapists from all over the country had the courage to share horror stories of threats and intimidation.
Therapists have been directly threatened in ways that are quite alarming to them.
The patient indicated to me that she wished to sacrifice the child with which she was pregnant. Naturally, I wasn't too enthusiastic about this. Shortly after this occurred, I started to get telephone death threats.
One of the things that I would add is that we are now hearing these reports from literally hundreds of therapists in every part of the United States.
Someone out there is telling us to back off.
Still, the greatest toll seems to be on the women who say that they have bred babies. Babies that were sacrificed for Satan.
I will probably have nightmares tonight about it, as I have about my Joey that I have been talking about. I wake up screaming for him now in the middle of the night. I dream that he's lost and I'm trying to find him.
Sickening, so incredibly outrageous, so incredibly unbelievable. But Zena LeVay, are these women lying?
You have to understand that everything, every single thing you've given as examples of Satanism here are completely from a Christian standpoint. That everything you've put forth as being considered satanic is not considered satanic by my standard or my definition of Satanism.
Are these women lying?
Well, have the bodies been found? Where are they?
Cheryl Horton, who joins us via satellite from Los Angeles. Cheryl Horton. Zena LeVay, a Satanist who A, points out that this is not in keeping with her teaching, but B, says, where is the proof? Where is the proof? Why is there no proof if what you're saying is true?
Hi, Geraldo. There's no proof for a fact of one thing. They burn the bodies. They either do that, they'll chop them up and dump them in the ocean, or they'll pour them in concrete, or they take and they use them for communion and eat them and then make bones out of the tools.
Cheryl, listen.
These people are doing murders.
Let me interrupt you. Cheryl, please, let me interrupt you. The stories, dump in the ocean, chop up the bodies, these things, they sound like they can't be happening. Ted Gunderson, respected law enforcement professional, recently or retired now from the FBI, former regional director of Los Angeles. Do you, sir, believe that these dreadful allegations of babies being sacrificed are true?
I absolutely believe it, without any doubt. Based on the information that's been given to me across the country by numerous survivors and by confidential sources and informants.
Then why didn't you name these people and arrest them? Never a name, never an arrest. These women come out of a group and they insist that they know the people in the group, and yet they do not identify these large mysterious cults. Name them and arrest them and get them off the street.
Does he not make a valid point?
He makes a valid point. The problem with that is, number one, police officers don't believe it. I may believe it. You may believe it. Some people in your audience may believe it. They don't believe it. Number two, if you decide to investigate these people, you have to, number one, handle it from an undercover operation. If you put an undercover operation into effect, then you have, in a sense, your own police officers become involved in these heinous crimes, and they are, of course, become murderers. And in addition to that, if you do decide to investigate these people, it's a lot of work. And many law enforcement officers are apathetic and don't want to get involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard this. The debate here could rage over this issue alone for hours and hours and hours. Michael Aquino is right when he says there have not been any successful prosecutions for this horrible allegation. Ted Gunderson is a sincere man with a good reputation who says that there are difficulties in the prosecution. Still, the point is it has never been proven in a court of law. Obviously, it needs more investigation, but if these things are happening, then there should be a national task force of federal and state and local cops working together to prove or disprove Because this is just unacceptable, this impasse. Coming up, we're going to have warning signs you should watch for, parents, and all of our guests will be available for a final discussion about Satanism after this break.
One shocking capital crime
We're breaking in. We've got an assassination in Washington.
triggers one man's rise to power.
There he is, Sam. That's our man.
Because he's capable?
Because he's famous.
Terry Fallon was just another young senator until an assassin's bullet made him a desperate president's last hope.
What kind of a man is he? What's he made of? Same thing all good running mates are made of. Ink.
Now Sally Crane, Fallon's press aide and lover, will do anything to help put her man in the White House.
Terry, it's a dream come true. My God, it's gonna happen.
It'll happen only if the gunman that made Terry Fallon famous doesn't try again.
He's a mindless, flawless, cold-blooded killer.
We'll find him. Do we want to find him?
Two lone FBI agents will work the case that no one once solved.
The green kid and the lame duck on a hit like this, if they really wanted it busted, they'd assign a whole division.
For Nick Mancuso, it's a case that will either change his life
What started this?
or end it.
They're too big, Mancuso. You're never gonna get them.
And for young Agent Ross, it's a lesson in seduction, as Sally is torn between the powerful senator and the man who could expose her.
Fallon's a figment of your imagination. He's a puppet. You pull the strings.
He's the right man at the right time, and I want him to be president.
In a town filled with secrets,
He brought a friend home to help him rape his wife and put her in the asylum.
everyone wants to know the truth.
It's gonna be something real dark, real secret, and real ugly.
The truth about Senator Terry Fallon.
Television's just anointed him America's favorite son.
Have you wondered what kind of president it'll make?
Harry Hamlin, Crocodile Dundee's Linda Kozlowski, Robert Loggia, James Whitmore, and Stephanie Kramer in the most provocative miniseries of the year.
You really believe the government of the United States is capable of a crime like that?
Beginning Sunday, live the secret
Oh my God, is it true?
of America's favorite son.
Parents, warning signs that might indicate a child's drift toward Satanism include abrupt emotional changes, changes in school habits, rejection of parental values, unusual interest in books on Satanism, black magic, or witchcraft, obsession with rock music groups using satanic symbols or references, rejection of friends, preference for being alone, meditation, chanting, use of new vocabulary. The Geraldo Rivera special, Devil Worship, will continue.
An all-new Wednesday begins with a ghostly unsolved mysteries. Then it's two spectacular premieres beginning with a special one-hour night court premiere. Is Dan really dead, or is it just a snow job?
What did I do to deserve this?
Then the premiere of the most romantic, revealing, unpredictable hero
Tried to have me killed.
of Tattingers on an all-new Wednesday.
And now, another in our series of unforgettable moments. The FBI apprehends Al Capone on tax evasion. 1, 2, 3! Dr. Huxtable apprehends Theo on homework evasion. For this and other unforgettable moments, tune in to this station 5 times a week.
The Cosby Show. It's unforgettable. 5 times a week.
Weekdays at 4:30 on TV 11.
Some people would kill to get on the radio.
I did it again, Jack.
Angel, this has to stop now. I want to help you.
Okay, go.
I need a trace on a call.
I'm tired. I'm so tired, Jack. I want to end this.
Okay, Harry?
But on my terms.
That number is 555. What are your terms, Angel? Address 4300 Market.
Angel?
Radio KJC. Angel, are you still on the line?
No, that's the number where the call is going to. I need the address where it's coming from.
Turn yourself in, That Angel. is where it's coming from.
Come get me.
Where are
She's
you?
in the building! Midnight Caller, tonight.
A lot of playoff high school football. That means a Prep Sports Extra tonight.
Father LeBar, from the point of view of the Catholic Church, is this something Catholic parents, and I'm not singling out the Roman Catholic faith. Obviously, this affects children of all races, colors, creeds, religions. It seems particularly strong, as you've seen over the course of the last 2 hours, to be very strong in the so-called Bible Belt among fundamentalist Christians. But from the point of view of the Roman Catholic Church, is this something for parents to be concerned about?
Something very much for parents to be concerned about, because in our Catholic theology, we know the power of the devil. We know the influence that the devil can have directly and indirectly. And whether you want to deny it, as the Church of Satan people want to do, or call it by another name, it doesn't matter. It's the power of evil, the force of evil, and it's that thing which disrupts ordinary human life, which, as we've seen, happening so often. So it is necessary for parents to beware and be
Dr.
careful.
Aquino, is it the force of evil? Does it disrupt? Is it a force for everything negative?
Well, if you're talking about Satanism as legitimate Satanists define it, absolutely not. It is ethical, it is above ground, it is positive. If you are talking about the devil as it is defined by religions such as Father Labar's, then it is, in fact, a symbol of degenerate behavior, and this is part of our problem tonight.
Should we have warnings, sir, the way we do on cigarette packs, for people coming into your houses of worship? Warning, this sect may be dangerous to your health and the health of the people you know.
No, because in the case of the Temple of Set and the Church of Satan, we have not had any problems with criminal behavior. Among
And yet
other
when you
things,
hear story after story after story of people committing these wretched crimes, these violent crimes in the devil's name,
you find one common thread to that, that all these people that you've shown tonight come from a background in which their moral instruction has been from a religious tradition other than ours. It may be Father Labar's, it may be some other mainstream one, but it is not that of Satanism.
Sean Sellers, condemned to die by lethal injection because of the murder of your mother, your stepfather, and a convenience store clerk. You've heard the Satanists say that it is not the teaching that is wrong, it is the person that's wrong. Are you using Satanism as a cover for your violence?
No, I'm not. I've heard quite a few, well, I can call them as lies on the show right now. I've heard Dr. Aquino say that Satanism is not, or the ideals that we're talking about here are not Satanism. That is because Satanists believe that good is evil and evil is good. And so, of course, they're not the ideals that he believes in. He believes that evil is good. That is what I believed in. I heard him say that the Satanic Bible is not to be taken literally. But I talked to a 16-year-old boy yesterday who takes the Satanic Bible literally. I've been working with a lot of ministries around the United States trying to get and help people get out of the occult. He takes the Satanic Bible literally. I took it literally. A lot of people are taking the Satanic Bible literally. And I heard Anton LaVey's daughter say that these babies who are being sacrificed, you know, that's not Satanism. Or she wouldn't answer to saying that it was. The fact of the matter is that kids are abducted, teenagers are drawn into the occult, and a lot of them are being used for occult sacrifices. And there's been so much on the show that you've shown so much pain and blood and all this other gore and stuff, but you really haven't shown how to get out of the occult for those who want to get out. There is, let me tell you a story about a friend of mine.
Tell it briefly, Sean. Go ahead.
Just give me 1.5 minute.
Go ahead.
Her name is, well, anyway, she works with the Watch Network in Texas, and she told me that a lady called her and said, my daughter's involved in Satanism and I want her to get out, but I don't want her to become some kind of Jesus freak or anything like that. Sue told her, I'm sorry, I can't help you. A month later, the girl was living with her aunt and uncle because her mother was in an insane asylum, and she was threatening to kill her aunt and uncle.
What's your point, Sean?
She destroyed 3 lives, her mother's, herself, and her aunt and uncle's, because she didn't want her mother didn't want her to become a Jesus freak. I want to tell you right now, there is no other way out of Satanism except through Jesus Christ.
Do you believe in the devil to this day?
I believe in the devil, but I don't worship the devil. I'm a Christian. I stand up boldly and proudly and proclaim my faith in Jesus. I'm telling you, there is no way out of Satanism except through Christ.
Do you feel a sense of frustration that people don't believe you when you talk about what happened to your daughter?
Yes, I do. The problem with this whole issue is that because the crimes are so heinous, that people don't want to believe that an adult would do this to a child. And I don't know about the Church of Satan or the Temple of Set. I can't say that they had anything to do with what happened to my child. But if you look at a child's behavior, a child who's been ritually abused, there is no way that you can say that these things that they're talking about didn't happen to them. From the nightmares, to the running around the room when they disclose, to the latching on, to the crying and saying, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, don't go out, because if you go out, they're going to kill you." Threats, intimidation, fear. That's how this happened to my child and children all across the country. And it may have nothing to do with Dr. Aquino or Miss LeVay. All I know is what's happening to kids all over the country. They're being ritually abused. I don't know who's behind it, but it's happening. And parents have to be aware that children are not lying. Police officers have to listen to children. Listen to what they're saying and look at their behavior, because a child cannot talk like you and I, who's been ritually abused.
We'll be right back.
Tonight, the show People magazine calls the sizzling new show of the season will establish a new standard for television.
You want me to do a radio show?
It was the only way to get the city's best cop to be everywhere.
I determine station policy.
Let me do it my way.
Who are you, Frank Sinatra?
It was a permanent transfer.
You're on the air.
From the streets.
We have a serial killer on our hands.
To the air.
I did it again.
Where are you?
To the best beat in town.
If you're listening, Lee, you can turn yourself into me anytime.
If you want ratings, I'll give you ratings.
She's in the building!
The premiere of Midnight Caller next. Wednesday, on an all-new Unsolved Mysteries, you'll join real-life ghost hunters on the historic Queen Mary as they bring back actual recordings of unexplained phenomena.
In all my experiences as a Marine engineer, I've never seen anything like this.
Then you'll search for the ghost of the revolutionary soldier who haunts the oldest inn in America.
Something is actually going on that deserves a great deal of further exploration.
You'll see facts that cannot be ignored.
You may be able to help solve a mystery.
Wednesday. Nick Tattinger has a knack for trouble.
I got shot at again.
Why can't you be like the other fathers? They never get shot at.
And although he's divorced, he still loves his family.
Hillary, you wild dame, how are you? Who's Norman?
Mother's lover.
So you're Norman. How do you do? Fine. She's still a screamer?
He's a little offbeat.
Oh, God. Tried to have me killed.
But he never gives up.
You kind of still like me, don't you?
Stephen Collins stars in Tattingers, premiering Wednesday. Thursday, as we left Cheers last season.
No, I will not go out with you.
Now Cheers is back with the season premiere Switcheroo.
I'll go out with you.
But Sally's back as the boss of Cheers, and Rebecca's out the door. Then see why Time calls Dear John the season's funniest new show.
How about a little dirty dancing?
The dirtier, the better.
Couldn't decide what to wear.
Yeah, tell me about it. Must have had 5 ties on today.
And this is the one you picked.
It's Dear John after Cheers season premiere Thursday.
All of us know that life is not safe. Every day we face the possibility of crime and disease and accidents and disasters. So here comes Satanism, which most of us would like to write off as harmless antics by some lunatic fringe. A few years ago maybe, but not now. We have seen that Satanism can be linked to dope and to pornography, child abuse, and to murder. It has led seemingly normal teenagers into monstrous behavior. They preach mysticism. Other people, however, practice evil, and that is why we brought you this report tonight. I'd like to thank all of our guests, especially those we did not have a chance to get to. I'm Geraldo Rivera, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night.
I wish I had listened to the music. I wish I had thrown it out. I wish I'd have gone to school and talked to him. Talk to his friends' mothers. Maybe they saw some things that I didn't see. Maybe if we put them together, we could have come up with something. I don't know, but I just think setting back and assuming that this is a teenager's life, when you see things like that, I know for a fact is wrong. I think that my son believed in Satan. In fact, he has said to me that he did believe in Satan. He believed in the power of Satan. He believed if he served Satan, that Satan would give him something in return for his servitude.
It's all false, man. It just leads to your own destruction. look where I'm at, you know, look at my sentence. I mean, I'm in jail with life without parole.
How do you get your best cop to patrol your